Swing and a drive.
Welcome to Red, White, and Blue Jays, the podcast home of Blue Jays Fans UK, a group connecting Blue Jays fans around the UK and beyond, and telling their story. And now, here's the host of Red, White, and Blue Jays, Steve Hunter.
Hi guys, thank you so much for joining us again this evening. It's great to catch up. It's been fun again, just getting back into these pods in the new year, obviously with our little break over the Christmas period. Loved chatting with the Shipley family last week. Really nice having a whole family on. So if you fancy coming on, not on your own, but with either some friends or your family, please let me know and get in touch. Tonight, or today, or whenever you're listening, it's great that I've got a young lady with me, Hannah. Hannah, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for spending the time to chat to me.
Thanks for letting me come on. It should be fun.
Absolute pleasure. It's always fun talking to people that I don't know very well. I mean, that was one of the big passions I have about doing this whole Red, White, and Blue Jays podcast is to connect with people right across the Blue Jays fandom. I've had a lot of people that I do know quite well, so it's always fun to chat to people that I've not had a lot of contact with. So we'll sort of hear a little bit of your story in terms of how you joined into the Blue Jays world here in the UK. But before we do all of that, do you want to just give us a little bit about you, where you are, what you're doing in life, what's going on in your world at the moment?
Yeah, sure. So like you said, I'm Hannah, and I am a final year PhD student at the University of St Andrews, so up in Scotland. So I'm studying chemistry. So essentially in the lab during the day, trying to write a thesis in the night. So it's my final year. So yeah, working with a lot of smelly chemicals, which isn't great. And then so final year, so trying to finish that and then look at career and job and house and wedding planning. So I'm kind of in a stressful time of my life right now.
Oh, well, that sounds like a lot of stuff to talk about, let alone the Blue Jay stuff. So chemistry world. I mean, I know a little bit about chemistry world because my daughter's just done her degree in chemistry. So she was at Bath. So she's just come out of uni there. So did you do your postgrad stuff in St Andrews, or is this new for you?
No, so I did my undergrad. So I got a master's in chemistry at Loughborough University.
Loughborough,
which is like Midlands area, and then was going to do I wanted to do a PhD, but I was looking all around the world. You know, I was looking at America, New Zealand was really, looking quite good for me. This one in St Andrews, and then I picked this one because, end of year, at Loughborough, I finally got into a relationship, and I was like, maybe moving halfway across the world isn't ideal. And the PhD was quite good up here. So I've been doing chemistry since, I did A-level chemistry and then did 5 years of chemistry degree at Loughborough. So it feels like probably half my life actually, which is quite scary. It's just chemistry.
That's amazing. And what's it like living north of the border? How are you enjoying Bonnie, Scotland?
I love it. So I was actually born in Scotland. And my dad's from Scotland, so like half my family is Scottish. So we used to come up all the time as kids and do like a little trip around and do Edinburgh, kind of some North Aberdeen kind of area. So I love it, absolutely love it. There's no Scottish accent, so it's quite funny. People are like, you're in St Andrews, you should have a Scottish accent, you're in Scotland. And I'm like, have you seen St Andrews? It's mainly Americans and Asian students. There's no way I'm getting a Scottish accent. But it's a lot of fun.
I mean, lovely part of the world. What's your golf like?
Awful.
I mean,
you could do like top golf, when you just hit it from a tee. Just about.
You got to get out, because the old course at St Andrews is infamous, isn't it? Yeah, it's beautiful.
I go running along the beach, and they obviously have all the golf tournaments, so I've seen quite a few like famous golfers or celebrities, which has been quite nice. I mean, absolutely beautiful.
Good friend of ours, Dave McLaren, who I've mentioned before on this pod, he's from Scotland, and he's a keen golfer, and he recently played at St Andrews, or so on
Okay,
his Twitter feed. So yeah, I mean it's like one of these must-do events if you're a golfer of any reasonable standard. Is gotta go to St Andrews.
Yeah.
And am I right in thinking the Prince of Wales were they at St Andrews? Is that where they met, Prince of Wales?
Kate and William,
Kate
yeah.
and William, yeah.
Duke
Sorry,
and Duchess of Cambridge.
not Prince of Wales, is it? No, it's what is he?
No, it's his dad.
His dad.
Duke
Yes,
of Cambridge.
Oh yeah, you see no better than I do. Yeah.
Because I'm everywhere in St Andrews. There's restaurants like they met here, and you're like, okay then.
Oh yeah, it was there then, wasn't it? Yeah, that they famously met. So lovely part of the world. You're finishing this year, you say?
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, and you've got marriage or wedding plans on the go as well. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
When is the big day?
We don't know.
Okay.
We only got proposed or got engaged November.
Excellent.
But we're like 400 miles apart right now, so
right.
Trying to plan is a bit tricky.
Yeah.
But it will get done at some point.
Yeah. Is your fiance back down? You're not from Loughborough, presumably. So where's home?
I'm from Hertfordshire.
Okay.
So just north of London, and he's Bedfordshire. So we're both just north of London, which is quite nice. Yeah. So
nice part of the world.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah. It's what everybody says about their own hometown. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. So are you hoping to settle back down in the south, or are you hoping to encourage your fiance to come up north?
I don't think he would do that. I think he struggled with a Scottish accent at times.
Okay.
No, we're looking down south, maybe Peterborough, Cambridge, potentially.
Yeah.
See what happens with the market.
Yeah, and see where the jobs lie. Certainly for my daughter, she's struggling at the moment to find a job in chemistry. I think a lot of the postgraduate schemes aren't running because of the whole COVID scenario. So it's been quite hard for her to find a role yet. But that time will.
Fingers crossed, she'll find one.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Exactly. Brilliant. Well, it's great to hear a little bit about the background. So tell me then, how did your love of baseball, your love of the Blue Jays, where did that all kick off?
So I actually started in Loughborough. So 2016, September 2016ish. Just come back from doing a placement year kind of thing, and I guess like most kind of British kids, you play rounders growing up, which is our equivalent kind of of baseball rounders. Really like that. But I'm not sporty, so that's the only sport I enjoyed. So did a placement year, played loads of rounders, like business kind of competition things, and thought I've got to do this somehow, recreationally, whatever. And I thought, I'm at Loughborough. It's the sports uni of the UK, basically.
Absolutely. Well,
it does everything
apart from Bath. Oh
no, Loughborough.
We've got allegiances to Bath in our household, so
But like it's just crazy. Loughborough does like American football, stuff that even St Andrews doesn't do half of the stuff that Loughborough did. Closest thing to rounders, obviously, baseball, softball. Never, kind of vaguely heard of baseball, but I was like, don't know the rules, don't know how to play, don't know anything about it. So I dragged my friend along with me for trials. We got on the team purely because they needed girls. Because softball was like a mixed gender sport. So the guys would play baseball, and then guys and girls would play softball, but we trained together. So 2016, I joined kind of the team and got to know kind of the understanding of the game and how we play and whatnot. And then about a year later, 2017, met this guy through the club who's now my partner. And he was always wearing kind of like your hat, but like whether it was Raptors or the Canadians hockey team, or a lot of it was Blue Jays. So I'd be like, what is this team that you're wearing? And it was usual for a lot of the guys in the team to wear their team's hat. So Diamondbacks, Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays, whatever. So you kind of could recognize some of the teams. And my partner was like, it's the Blue Jays. I'm not Canadian, but I love the Blue Jays. It's who I support. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Okay, whatever. And two of his really good friends, one's a Yankees fan and one's a Red Sox fan. So they were, throughout the year being like the rivalry, you could see the rivalry and everything. And one of them went, so what team are you supporting? You've got to support a team, right? And I was like, yeah, maybe. I haven't really thought about it. And at the time, my brother was going to Colorado. So I thought, I'll support the Rockies, you know, family thing there. And all three of them kind of went, you're not supporting the Rockies. You know, I was naive. I knew nothing about the Rockies, nothing about divisions. So I was like, if you won't let me support the Rockies, you support the Blue Jays. I like you. You can teach me baseball. And that's how I got into the Blue Jays, really.
Amazing.
I kind of did like the good girlfriend, supportive partner thing of looking at the games and the highlights and the scores, being like, he's in a good mood, he might be in a bad mood. But it wasn't until 2019, 2020, where I really got into watching some of the games and understanding the stats and what was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, 2020 probably wasn't the best season to start watching.
No, but
it kind of gave me some understanding of what was happening. And for the first time, I was watching games because I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to my partner, Alejandro Kirk's playing, he's in an MLB game. He's only played a single A game. What's going on? And even my partner went, I'm sorry, what? You're actually interested in baseball and giving me news. So, so watching last season as the full 162 was just mind-blowing.
Yeah. What an amazing story. So who's the partner? Come on, what's his name? And why isn't he on it? Sorry, what's his name?
Ben. I actually thought earlier he should be on this podcast.
We should have got him in, shouldn't we? Could we dial him in now live and he's unprepared?
He would hate me. He can have his own episode. It's fine.
Okay.
Got more stories to tell.
Yeah, we're gonna get. I want you to put me in touch with Ben. Because
he's been to Canada. He's been to Tropicana Field. I think he's a massive Joey fan. He's got loads of stories he could tell.
Yeah. No,
I'll send him this podcast. He can listen to what I say, and then he can have his own time.
Does he know you're on tonight?
No.
Oh, because
he's going to listen to the podcast.
This should be a big surprise for him. You just go out on social media and then, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, I credit him for liking the Blue Jays, so
that's amazing.
He's in a good light.
He's obviously done a very good job in terms of enticing you in and selling the game. So did he play, or is it just because of his visit to Canada?
So he's a massive sports person. Growing up, he did hockey, he did American football at Loughborough, karting. He plays baseball, softball.
Right.
He was actually, it's quite funny, in our final year, he was the captain of the seconds team because we just had that many numbers. We had a first and a seconds team. And so we went to nationals down in Farnham. And it was really weird. He was my captain, and I was like, "This is weird. Don't tell me what to do, but I have to listen to you."
Yeah.
But so he plays. He
Amazing.
does. He will. You know, it's funny watching the boys play baseball because they just will dive. They will wreck their bodies in the name of the sport.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm a bit more like, I'm not gonna skid. I'm not gonna dive. Just let me do it how I want to do it.
Right. Excellent.
But,
so you're playing up at St Andrews at all, or is that sort of baseball scene not quite the same up there?
There isn't actually a baseball softball scene up here, which I'm surprised given the amount of Americans. But I actually play. There's a softball mixed gender recreational league in Edinburgh.
Right.
So over the summer, I used to go down maybe once a week for the game, maybe twice a week if another team needed me, and that was quite fun. Just to get out of St Andrews, meet some new people, play the game, fresh air. Yeah.
What's your preferred position?
It's changed over the years.
Okay.
So when I came and joined Edinburgh, because I joined just 2019 was my first season, and then I had the pandemic, and then we played last year.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm a third base girl. Just put me in third base, I'll be fine.
Great.
Did third base. Then I kept getting moved to outfield.
Right.
So I started last season in left field and finished it in right field.
Okay.
So third base outfielder.
You're obviously good at the old throwing, because third base is notoriously hard. I think, you're generally throwing right across the diamond, aren't you?
Kind of helps our first base player is like 6 something.
Right.
6'5" or something.
Okay.
So when you throw to first, you're not throwing the whole length of the diamond because they can just,
Reach out.
lean out and grab it. But yeah,
Ah,
not too
amazing.
bad throwing. Hitting is a bit iffy, but
Yeah. That's all right.
yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, little steps in the right direction. I mean, this is all very new for you, isn't it? So just going back onto the Jays then, and your sort of inaugural season in 2020. Did your fiance, did he talk you through the rules? How did you sort of pick up the game? Do you like? I mean, obviously cricket is probably the most similar in terms of length of game. I know we talk about rounders being very similar, but I think in terms of what most people have seen.
Professionally, yeah.
Yeah. Was it something that you took to straight away, or did you find the games too long, or how did you find it when you first started watching?
So I don't actually like cricket, so being told
Yeah.
it's like a 3-4 hour game, I was like, oh, okay, I'm used to football games or rugby games,
Sure.
90 minutes, 2 hours. So the first game we ever watched together was actually the 2017 World Series, which I naively forgot about time difference and everything. So it's like a midnight start or something.
Yeah.
Fell asleep 2 hours in, about that, and then woke up about an hour later and was like, oh, what's the score? Oh, nothing's changed. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
As I've gone on, I will sit there and watch it, and I now am starting to understand the different types of pitches, or are they going to bunt? Are they not going to bunt? Are they going to do a sacrificial fly? So I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I think because I'm a science girl, I like the numbers a bit.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so what's this person? What's their average? Okay, what's their on base percentage? What's this? So the start, it was more like, you have to talk me through everything.
Sure.
Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Why have they put a pinch hitter in? Why have they put a pinch runner in? Why have they done this? Why are they shifting? What, simple things like that you're like, now I'm like, I know why they're shifting, it's to give them that advantage or whatever. So yeah, I wouldn't say talk me through it. It was more, so I saw the game last night. I need you to explain X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Which I think he enjoys, because my fiance is doesn't really do British sports. He does more American sports.
Okay.
Hockey, basketball, the football, and he's tried explaining American football to me, and I'm like, no. But I think because I play baseball, softball, I have an appreciation for watching it.
Yep.
And I can start to see, especially like, oh, we did that in training. Okay, that's why it would fit into a game. So it kind of works both ways in watching the game to see how I can better my play. Yeah. Very or good. I'll like yell at the TV and be like, you need to do this, you need to do that. Stay at second. Or
yeah. That's amazing.
Quite funny.
Obviously you've watched a lot on the TV, but not, I guess, been there yet. Not been to Toronto, so that must be a goal at some point to try and get across and go and see them live.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Great honeymoon.
I've said it's okay. That's what I said. I said I'd be okay with Canada for a honeymoon. It's summer. Some Blue Jays games.
Yeah, see the Jays.
Yeah, and I've only seen the London series. Is the only like proper professional baseball game I've seen.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
And that was a long game.
It was. Did you get to both, or did you just do one?
Just a Saturday.
Yeah, it was the same game that we were at, and it was a long night, wasn't it? It was a very long night.
I just have like flashbacks of sitting there, because we sat outfield just to the right from centre field. If you're looking down, towards the picture kind of thing.
Left field, yeah.
Sitting there, and it was like 30-degree heat, and you're just like, I'm so hot. And then it's like, the second longest game in MLB history, and like 6 home runs or whatever in the first inning for both teams, and you're like, what is going on? And it was great. Such a good day.
Yeah. Exactly the same as you. We couldn't have been too far from you. We were about the same, sort of down the third base line. And just like, what's happening? There's 6-6, and we haven't even got out the first. And I don't know where you were staying, but we were staying in Richmond that night, which is of course diametrically opposite. Well, not quite, but from the Olympic Stadium, and we were just conscious about the train, because we had to get a certain last train from Waterloo going out, and then we were sort of trying to calculate how long the tube journey was going to be back into Waterloo and stuff, and we didn't quite get to the end of the game. We just thought we can't risk it. There's loads of people leaving at that point, because it was just going on and going on and going on. But great spectacle.
Oh yeah, we went with my fiance's two friends, the Red Sox and the Yankees fan, and they each had their had their partners. So we had the Yankees lot to one side of us, the Blue Jays in the middle, the Red Sox to the other side, to kind of keep them apart. And they were giving each other jibes, and we're like, is everyone going to be friends at the end of this?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've said before, I think beyond the Yankees and the Red Sox, in terms of team colours, I think the Jays were certainly a very good shout in for third position. There were just so many Blue Jays fans.
Yeah.
Which is
amazing. It was just nice seeing different teams being represented, even though it was Boston and Yankees. You saw everyone. And I've been to rugby games in Murrayfield to watch Scotland play, and I thought that was an atmosphere and a half. But actually going to the Olympic Stadium, and you've got all the food trucks with the American food, and you've got all the fan zone, and then everyone's getting ready for batting practice. Just it's a whole new level of entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fantastic celebration of baseball, and I think certainly sort of connecting with a lot of the fans across different teams here in the UK, and sort of knowing people who do something similar to what I'm doing with you tonight. I think all of us just loved that weekend, and we're so looking forward to, of course, 2020, and of course it all got kibosh like a lot of things, and hopefully at some point we'll see some baseball back in there. There has been sort of some suggestions that it might even be this year, but I don't know how sound those are, but it'll be lovely to have baseball back over here.
I just really say good luck to my bank account the year that the Jays are coming over, because I know me and my fiance are like, these are the tickets we want, we're going to be there both days.
Yeah, totally.
It's going to be an expensive weekend, but a good weekend.
There'll be loads of us, but I think certainly try and get something in your diary to get across. I mean, flights to Canada at the moment, really rock bottom prices, so it's a good time to think about going across. Let's just hope we have a baseball season to actually go and watch. Now, you've mentioned the London series game, and I just wanted to mention about a tweet that you just put out in the last sort of 15 minutes or so, just before we started recording, about and forgive me, I don't even know the lady's name, but the Yankees have just employed this female coach, and you were just sort of celebrating the fact of seeing a lady in that sort of high profile position for the Yankees. Just give me your sort of take on women in sport, because it is generally a male dominated world. What's your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm growing up, I wasn't into sport. I didn't do a lot of sport physically, and when I go to Loughborough and everyone's doing sport, it's kind of like, okay, this is what we're going to do. For me, I've grown up with my dad's watched football and F1, and you just see men everywhere, and no shame on the men because they've worked hard to get there.
Sure.
But it's kind of that thing of representation, like when everyone, is it Jackie Robinson?
Yeah.
Everyone celebrates Jackie Robinson. It's just that thing of seeing someone like you in a really high power position, and I think her name's Rachel. She isn't the first, she won't be the last.
Yeah.
But I think it's celebrating that, especially because, when I play baseball with the guys or softball with the guys, especially my fiance and his friends, they can get in this headset and this mindset of, I don't want to say ruthlessness, but I've seen some of them be very ruthful, and it's like, we have to win this game. And it's like, I play the sport because I enjoy it, and I think females bring a different perspective to guys sometimes, which is sometimes needed. And I think why, this coach, she's worked hard to be, to earn the right to kind of have that position.
Yeah.
Why should she be passed over just because of her gender?
Yeah, sure.
So hopefully, you never know, there might be I think I can't remember what team it is. Is it the Giants? Someone else has another female and a very high powered GM or something.
Yeah.
But hopefully, 10 years you might have coaches, bench coaches,
totally,
whoever, batting coaches, whatever.
Yeah. And I think we are seeing it more and more in sport, aren't we? Generally, if you think to our own sort of Premier League and stuff, seeing female lines. I was going to say linesmen. That's what are they called now? Assistant referees.
Right, yeah.
Show my age. You know, just seeing more and more ladies coming higher profile, and I think you know, the women's football teams coming through, and other sports as well, that we are seeing much more on TV now. I think the media are covering more female sport, which I think is just such a positive thing. But I think with sorry, go on.
I was going to say, you just reminded me that an Australian baseball team actually had a female pitcher in with guys this week. So it's not just managerial level, it's players level. And I remember the manager saying she's earned the right to pitch, and I think she did a pretty good job pitching, if I remember correctly. So I think it's just one of those things that if you can dream it and you can get there, there's nothing stopping you.
It's probably a good point to just give a little shout out to some friends of mine who run the Birds with Balls podcast. So any ladies out there who would like to just listen to a little bit of British banter from three ladies here in the UK, they're great people. Know all three of them, and Tracy, Joe, and now I've said I don't remember all of them. Tracy, Joe, and it will come back to me in a minute. But listen to those guys. They're a great team, and do a great job, I think, just promoting women in sport generally. So that's fantastic. Right, back to you Blue Jays. Let's just sort of pick out any particular memories. I mean, I know your memory bank probably is a lot shorter than most of ours because of the length of time that you've been watching it. But you know, anything that stood out to you, sort of games that you think, oh, that was a really good moment, or?
Well, I mean, so I didn't watch the game. I've seen it back, you know, in replays and stuff. Obviously, the Joey bat flip. My fiance is a massive Joey fan.
Oh, is he? Right.
So that's how he got me into it, with the bat flip, and I think I even got him a T-shirt with the bat flip on for Christmas one year. So I've seen that multiple times, and just the reaction of the crowd, and you know, you just my like hairs on my arms just stand up. It's just insane. Anything else? I mean, I hate to use 2021, but that's my full kind of 162 game season. Just Vladdy, when he got he beat his dad's, you know, record for home runs in a season. I remember listening to At the Letters podcast, and they did their usual, you know, under over predictions for the season. And I think you tweeted about re-listening to it at the end of the season.
I did.
So you prompted me to go back and re-listen to it. And I just remember them saying, right, Vladdy, how many home runs is he going to get? And I think they put it at 30. And when you see the season, he did 45, I think it was, or a little bit more. And he's only 22. He's younger than me. What?
I know.
And to beat his dad's record and what he's done, you know, especially after a really difficult 2020 year. And the issues he had at third base and, you know, other things. It's
amazing.
I mean, the memory, the YouTube popped up a couple of days ago with when we was 8-2 down to the Oakland and came back like 10-2 or something. You know, we just had that home run after home. Just rewatching the highlights of that just gets you excited for this season. Did
you stay up through the night at all over last year to watch a game live?
I tried. I'm one of those people that I like my sleep. I can do the day games. I think I managed to about 12:30, 1 when it was like an late afternoon. But otherwise I'm a health and safety hazard in the lab. Hopefully this year when I'm writing and I'm just editing from home, I can change my body clock.
You got to do it. It is fun watching it through the night. But you do have to plan your days a little bit around it.
I mean, saying that, I don't know if it's just stress of doing a PhD. I'd go to bed knowing that there would be a night game. And for some reason, my body would just wake up and I'd look at my phone, it's 3 a.m. And instead of thinking, I'm going to turn over and roll back to sleep, my first thought is, are we winning? Are we losing? What is happening? And I check Twitter really quickly to gauge everyone's reaction. And then I'd be like, right, we're winning. Go to bed, it's going to be fine, and wake up and we've lost or something, or right, we're losing, they need to sort
Yeah.
sort themselves out and
Yeah, absolutely.
go back to sleep and wake up and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or yes, we come back.
Yeah, it is totally like that. I mean, I think we can all relate to that sort of middle of the night moment of checking schools and stuff. But yeah, pace yourself with it. That's what I would suggest. Just work up to it, and certainly plan your days off. And what's happening? I know with this last season, with the hope of when it went down to the last game of the regular season, I had booked off the days when I thought they might be in the postseason in anticipation, because I thought I really want to see how they do, but of course didn't need them in the end. So how did you then, I mean, presumably through your fiance, you connected into the UK scene, or did you find us independently of him?
Found you independently, yeah. So my fiance has Facebook and that's it. He doesn't do Twitter, he doesn't do Instagram.
Okay.
He's not, and even Facebook, he barely uses it.
Right.
So I remember tweeting a couple of games, and yes, that's the opening day and we beat the Yankees, we're on a clean sweep, we can do this.
Yeah.
And, using the hashtags as people do and finding those in America and those in Canada. And then I think Twitter, as it does with the algorithms, is like people you may like or want to follow, and it was Blue Jays UK, and I was like, I've got to, just got to, haven't I? It's a no-brainer. So I started following you on Twitter. I know we had quite a few discussions on there and whatnot, and just seeing the community and what everyone was thinking and what people want and don't want for the trade deadlines and transfers and whatever. And then it wasn't until I sent you an email being like, I think I want to come on your podcast. Would you have me? That I was like, of course. Anytime. Maybe I should join the Facebook group.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it's funny how social media works, because Twitter is very different from Facebook. So I tend to find with the Facebook group, it's much more sort of chatty and stuff. Whereas Twitter is much more analytical. I think, it tends to be short, well, just by the nature of what it is, sort of short, sharp statements of, and like you, sort of, I'll check Twitter to see how the game's going, where you wouldn't tend to go to Facebook for that sort of thing. So they do work differently, and we've definitely got sort of not two distinct groups, but because there is a bit of crossover. But there's definitely the Facebook lovers and there's definitely the Twitter lovers, and that's what I love is about being able to connect across all these platforms with different people. So it's great that you're now in both camps, and we want to see you contributing going forward into the new season with all your thoughts. I have remembered while you were talking, Molly is the third lady. So Molly, if you ever get to listen to this, I'm really sorry. I know you really well as well, which is very embarrassing, but your name slipped my mind as we were talking. But I'm sure Molly will forgive me. So how coming out of last season, what were your thoughts coming towards the end of the year, and how it all ended up? What were your expectations? Were they met, or was it end in big disappointment?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got a lot to go on. All I knew from my fiance was, the last couple of years was a rebuilding year. Yeah. Especially with a lot of the young talent that they had. So maybe they weren't hoping, this year wasn't a definite to be in the postseason. If it was, it'd be great. So that's kind of where I based my assumptions off of, because a lot of the reporters are like 2022, 2023 is when they're aiming for. So it's like, okay, see what they can do this year, especially with such a young team who haven't necessarily played 162 games.
Sure.
I don't think Bo had played 162 games a season until last year.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I did panic a bit in August, as I think most people did.
Yeah.
Because obviously our Red Sox friend, I was messaging him a lot, being like, you need to lose this game and so we can win and we can beat you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then September happened and you're like, I'm sorry, who is this team?
Yeah.
Figured it all out, got it all together. It's a shame that it was so up and down throughout the season, but to finish with 91 wins, whereas the Atlantic Braves didn't even get 90 wins and they won.
Yeah.
How that works, I don't know. they were, they didn't have Toronto until middle of the season, living out of suitcases, Dunedin, Buffalo. The home crowd wasn't even the home crowd. Young team, a lot of injuries to the bullpen. I think it's a good place for them to build off of for the next couple of years.
Sure.
Would have been nice to be in the postseason.
Yeah.
Especially with, everyone saying if they're on the wild card, Yankees don't want to play them, Red Sox don't want to play them, and you're thinking,
think anybody wanted to play us, honestly.
No. And going into that, and you're like, if we have that mentality and other clubs have that mentality, we're a threat.
Yeah.
And that's a good place to be. It's just a shame, like on that last day, it just wasn't meant to be.
It wasn't quite there, was it? And it was most infuriating because it was the Red Sox who finally pipped us to the post. Was our game finished slightly earlier than the Red Sox game, and it was just like, okay, well, let's just watch this out, and just it's not going to happen. It's just such a disappointing end to the year. But also, I think that there are so many things to be positive about as well.
The accolades afterwards as well.
Oh,
MVP,
amazing. Yeah, totally.
Cy Young winners, Golden Gloves, Silver Slugger.
It's all there.
Postseason would have been like the cherry on top, I think.
Sure. Yeah. So looking forward then with your crystal ball, how are you feeling about this coming year, assuming that we do get the game and they get the contracts thing all sorted and what have you? What are you feeling for this year?
I want to say postseason. I think
is that a, do you think they can go all the way? I mean, not just postseason, but do you think, a World Series is in this team for 2022?
My heart says they can do it.
Yeah.
My head with the stats and the analytics and everything is a bit like, there's a few things to sort out before the start of the season.
Sure.
I really want them to do it. I want them just to go out there and say, here we are, we're the Blue Jays, come at us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a bold kind of prediction, but I don't know if I want to say it.
Go on then. No. We want to record it because what we're going to do is when we get through the end of 2022, we're going to rewind to the Hannah Kerr episode and say, this is what she predicted and this is how it ended up.
Have our own unders overs episode. You should do that. You should do that. I thought about this the other day. I was like, if we can get second AL East,
okay.
Given that it's such a difficult division, Yankees, Red Sox, the Rays.
Who would you put in first place then? Who do you think out of the AL East teams, who's going to pip us?
Rays. I don't know why. Just the Rays seem to get under our skin.
They do. I was going to say they're our nemesis, aren't they?
Yeah, especially after everything with was it Kerr, have you say it? And Kirk and the whole catcher's report. You're just like, anyone but you. It had to be anyone,
Yeah.
So that's my prediction. Second or better. Hopefully,
second or better. Okay.
I'd like number one, but I'll go second just to give me a bit of leeway.
Yeah. Absolutely. But postseason, you think
all the way? You've got if they're going to make it postseason, they've got to go all the way. Totally. No, they could beat the Braves. They could beat the Braves.
Yeah. I don't think anybody realistically had the Braves down to win the World Series last year. No. And in fact, I didn't watch a lot of the postseason myself, but I think I was still in Blue Jays blue world. But certainly, I don't think anybody really performed that well through the postseason last year. The Yankees went out early. Then it's just the teams you thought you could do well actually didn't do that well, and that was both
Giants.
Exactly. So I think on our day we could have taken any one of them.
I think with the whole kind of everything coming down to the final day as well, it was so emotional and had so much to play for that after that the playoffs and the postseason kind of was a bit like
and I think
whether I'm saying that as like a bitter Blue Jays fan who didn't make the postseason, I don't know, but
you were mixing up some potent chemicals, I'm sure, to send across to your Red Sox and Yankees mates. Just say, have a drink on us.
Oh, might take more than a drink, but we can sort that out.
Yeah. So looking forward to next year, and the potential and possibilities of good stuff happening around Rogers Centre. I mean, and a whole year there. I mean, that's the other thing to take into consideration. I think you're absolutely right. The living out with a suitcase thing for most of last year, or a good chunk of last year. I think we all underestimate what impact that had on the players, and
definitely.
the staff and everybody else that's in behind it. So let's keep positive thoughts for 2022. Excellent.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Right. As we draw to a close, I've really enjoyed chatting with you, Hannah. It's been fun.
Same.
Really, really good. We must do it again. Going to do my normal sort of 10 questions to close us out. So just, off the top, you don't need to think about it too hard, but let's see how you do with this. So who was your favorite player from 2021?
Robbie Ray.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
I know, like I've heard the other episodes. I know people have said Vladdy and stuff, and I get that. I get why Vladdy, but I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that Robbie Ray got traded to the Mariners, I think I shed a little tear.
I was gonna say, was it a bit watery-eyed? Yeah.
Yeah, just that he obviously won a Cy Young. That says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he just held his composure. The fact that he got loads of 10+ strikeouts. Just dominating a game, very little runs, very little walks.
Yeah.
And he just seemed like a father figure leader in the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And that game where he was it Manoa put the jacket on him?
Yep.
Yeah. So when he left, I was like, no, not Robbie.
So
I was going to get a jersey with his name on for this season.
Have you got the Robbie Ray pants t-shirt? Yeah.
No, I was thinking of getting it, but I said to my fiancé, I was like, if he's staying and he's pitching, I want him to pitch the first game of this season if he's staying, and I will buy myself my own jersey with his name on.
Excellent.
Wear it proudly.
Yeah. Sorry.
Not meant to be.
No, he was. He had an outstanding year, didn't he? And
he bet on himself, and he did well.
Yeah.
So you can't blame the guy.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Exactly. Okay. So Robbie Ray, favorite player for 2021. This is a good question for you. Your favorite player of all time, which will of course last over 2 seasons.
2 years.
So over the last 2 years.
Hard about this one. Let me think. I think I'm going to go Bautista.
Okay, that's good. That's to keep Ben happy.
Well, a little bit, yeah. Because I saw some of his games, but also I saw him. He was in the Olympics last year for.
He was.
The Dominican Republic.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So it was just nice to see him play again, and I don't know, he just got a bit of a flair about him, and
he's a good player. Swagger.
He's an outfielder, so.
Yeah, indeed he is. Yeah. Joey was absolutely loved and worshipped by all Jays fans, and equally hated by mostly everybody else. And I think it's because he did have that bravado and swagger about him, and he clearly riled people, and there's certainly lots of good stories of people getting very upset by Joey over the years, but
I wasn't allowed to wear, so Ben brought 2. He has official jerseys. He brought 2 down for the London series.
Okay.
And was like, I'm wearing the Bautista one. You do not wear the Joey one. And I was like, oh, okay. I know you have a soft spot for him. I get it.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yes, don't upset him. Okay. Your favorite non-Jays player? Again, might be a bit tricky with a fairly. It's clearly not Kevin Kiermaier.
Oh no. Forget Yankees, forget Red Sox. They're off the list.
Anybody?
Freddie Freeman.
Oh yeah,
was pretty good.
Yeah.
Obviously, the one that got thrown around a lot when I was kind of getting used to baseball was Babe Ruth.
Right.
Which is just iconic. Sure. A lot of people think of baseball and think of that, but yeah, Freddie Freeman.
Okay. Perfect. Excellent.
Getting names mixed up here.
Yeah. What's your favorite ballpark away from the Rogers Centre? What have you like the look of?
Can I say the Olympic Park Stadium?
Oh,
that was technically a baseball park.
Yeah, for 2 days. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I pay attention enough. I think I know what Fenway looks like because I hate it when they show the home runs.
Okay. Fenway's, yeah, I've been to Fenway, and it's you know, is one of the classic old school baseball fields, ballparks, and I was really pleased to go and see it. I'm not sure I'd want to see a game there regularly. You know, while it is iconic, it's not the most comfy place to watch baseball. And the game that we saw had massive rain delay as well, so we got used to our roof in Toronto. But it is one of the places that, you know, if you're a real baseball fan, you do need to go and have a look at.
Like with Yankee Stadium, or is it Anaheim for the Angels, Anaheim? Or Dodger Stadium and stuff like that. Yeah. I think one day I'll maybe take one off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you ever can do you can do quite a lot of baseball grounds in the sort of northeast part of the states, you know, and that's what we've done some road trips around that area, and the cities aren't that far apart from each other, so you can get a good number under your belt.
That's quite good.
So yeah, definitely worth a look. So you're going to go for London Stadium, okay, for your favourite away? That's all right. So when you were at the London Stadium, what was your favourite baseball food that you had?
I don't think I actually ate a lot because it was that hot. I think I was more just waiting in the line to refill my water bottle, and like 6 of them.
Yeah.
I think I had, was it nachos or loaded fries?
Yeah.
Loaded fries, I think I had.
Okay, that's cool. And what would your favourite drink be if it wasn't a boiling hot day? What would you?
Well, I had Pimm's. I'm not a beer drinker, so I'd probably say Pimm's.
Yes,
very light, refreshing.
Yes, sophisticated. Yeah, very nice, excellent. Day or night games? So you got a bit of both at London, didn't you? So started in the day, ended in night. But days.
I'd say day, just because we can watch it over. You know, especially if they're playing in Toronto, that we can watch it over here.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll say night in a year's time once I've tried staying up.
Yeah.
But I think just having like the sun shining and everyone's in good spirits and the mascots all around, and
yeah, it is a summer sport after all, so I get that. Your favorite Jays jersey color? So if I'm right, have you got Blue Jays jersey on tonight? I can't quite see.
I've got it's like a t-shirt kind of. Okay. Again, it was Ben's and he gave it to me because he grew out of it.
Yeah, good.
But no, I have seen them. The dark blue, the royal blue, I think it's called.
Royal blue,
Love it.
Yeah,
don't know why. It looks classic and yeah.
Very good. Okay. Favorite jersey number? Have you got one?
My softball number's 8.
Okay.
Which I actually find out was Kevin Biggio.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's going to be Biggio's number. Yeah.
Praying he has a good season.
Yeah.
Or my other number is 21, which is, I looked up, is John Schneider, the bench coach.
Oh, right, a bench coach, yeah. So
I'll say Kevin Biggio 8.
Yeah, I thought 19 might be in there, so I was waiting for the Joey number to come forward, but
no.
Yeah, no.
My softball number has been my softball number since like 2016. I've even got it in Edinburgh, so I hold on to number 8. I don't know why 8, but
yeah, no, I think you've got to hold on to those things. Those mean the most to you. And finally, obviously having not been there, but we'll ask you anyway. So roof open or roof closed? What do you think would be your preference?
Open. I like seeing when you watch, obviously I've only watched it on TV kind of thing, when you see everyone in like the hotels and the apartments on their kind of little balconies watching over. I think that's quite cute and quite sweet and a really good way to be inclusive.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not paying for a ticket, but
sure. Yeah. So roof open. Yeah, I mean you can't beat watching the baseball, as you say. Summer's day, roof open, beaten down. It's amazing. And in Toronto, because you've got the CN Tower right next door to the Rogers Centre, so
you can just
you're looking up at that and see, you know, people at the top and what have you. It is an amazing place to watch baseball. I just also have to think, if you didn't have any interest in baseball and you're walking past it the minute that like Vladdy hit a home run and you could just hear it erupt, that must be something special. Yeah, the very first time I took my kids, or we took our kids, we had to do I was trying to remember now, we were driving from Toronto across to Boston, and we were leaving the next morning quite early, and our youngest at the time, I think she was only about 7, and game went into extra innings, and it's a bit like London. We're just going to have to call it a day. And we were walking literally around the outside of the Rogers Centre after we had just left. Suddenly heard the crowd, and it wasn't a massive crowd that night, and they just had a walk off that we just missed. But it is, when the roof's open, as it was that night, you can hear it outside and stuff. So great place to be when there's a lot of buzz and excitement going on. So
gonna have to book tickets after this, I think.
Totally, absolutely. You need to go and make a trip and take lots of photos and let us know and see how you get on. Hannah, thank you so much for spending some time tonight. It's been really fun chatting to you because, as I said at the beginning, didn't know a lot about you, but it's been fun to hear your story. And I think we all give a round of applause to Ben for doing such a brilliant job at pulling you into the Blue Jays world. And so cool just to hear your enthusiasm and over the team and the game as a whole. So thank you so much for coming on. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun. I'll have to get Ben involved now.
Totally, yeah. We need to get on his case. Is he? You say he's in Facebook. Is he on our Facebook group? In our Facebook group?
I don't know.
Okay, you need to work on that. Add him in, and then we can take you, and he'll be like, "What have you been doing?" Anyway, brilliant chatting with you tonight. Thank you so much, guys. Just again, if you want to do exactly what Hannah's done this evening and come and have a little chat and tell us a bit about your Blue Jays fun and enjoyment of watching the team, and just tell us all your stories of how you got involved and things you've been to. I'd love to chat to you, particularly as we're in this sort of off-season period. It's great to hear these things before we perhaps get back into the new season and cover some of the games a little bit more. But yeah, if you want to get hold of me, all the contact details as usual will be at the end of the pod. But for now, thanks so much for listening, and we'll speak to you soon.
The Red, White and Blue Jays podcast is a production of Blue Jays Fans UK. If you've got a Blue Jays story to share, let us know. Email us at bluejaysfansuk@gmail.com and follow along on Twitter and Instagram at Blue Jays Fans UK. I'm your announcer, Jim Langton. Thanks for listening.